The video you're about to see might have to do with music theory. Don't worry, it's way simpler than you think, I promise you. Let me prove it to you with my free Music Theory DNA course, which is going to put you on the right path to learning those hard to understand concepts in a super easy and healthy way. Check out guitarinfusion.com, enter your best email address. I'll be sending you that free course right away. But for now, let's get into the video. Harmony is something I'm really passionate about. I love the fact that you can play a note, and that note can become so many different things. That note can become this, or it can also become something like this, or even this. Same note though, right? A lot of different meanings with one note. And that's what we're going to explore today with a fun and interactive game. Grab your guitar. We're going to get started in about 5 seconds. Hi, my name is David Wallerman. Welcome to this channel, which is all about helping guitar players like you find your unique voice on the instrument, develop it to tell your own personal musical story. And today, we're going to explore the meaning of harmony with an interactive game. So if you don't have any music theory background, don't worry. This is going to be really simple. Just follow along, grab your guitar. This is an experimentation thing, and make sure you watch this video till the end because I want you to participate. And anyways, I'll tell you more about it after. For now, let's get started. And we need to get started with a principle that you know already, but it's really important, I think, to remind ourselves of this. And I say it many times. I have said it on this channel, but a note by itself, it's just a sound. This doesn't really carry any emotional value to it. Now, if I have this note played in relation to something else, a chord, for example, that note becomes something. It has its meaning because it is part of something, part of a group. Every note can be seen as a part of a family, and we each have our unique role in the family. Now that note, in this case it was an F sharp, that note in the context of this family has a role. Let's say maybe that's the firstborn. I don't know, could be anything. But that note placed in a different context, maybe in a work environment, maybe that note is no longer the role of the firstborn, but maybe in the work environment, it's the follower, not a leader, but a follower, and he just kind of follows along, and in that context, right? I hope you're following. What I'm trying to say here is that a note can have multiple meanings depending on where it's placed within the context. That's what's happening in music all the time. Now, this principle, although, very basic, is extremely important in music because if you understand that, you understand how improvisation works. Your role as a person who improvises over a chord progression is to create a group of notes, a group of characters that is going to fit, that is going to match the chords you're playing over. And there's more or less complexity there. Sometimes the group of chords are not part of the same family. Maybe sometimes there are two different families, and so you've got to make sure that you understand the placement of these notes when you're improvising. What I'm trying to say here is that sometimes you have chord progressions in multiple keys, but we're going to consider the chords that we're going to create in this lesson to be part of the same family, so that the notes that you're hearing will match that family. That still gives you options as far as which notes to play, and we're going to discover that. Now, the family that we're going to use is that group of characters, the group of notes that are going to work together to create the atmosphere of music. And if we pick from the same family, it's a family of 7. Whatever we write is going to be coherent. The elements are going to match. The chords that are made of multiple characters and the theme that are made of individual characters have crossovers because we're always finding the same 7 characters. Now, I pre-recorded a theme for you. A theme that is built on 7 different characters. Let's take a listen to that theme. You got the click here to help you. Very simple theme. No note comes as a surprise because the notes that make the theme are part of that same family. And then it's going to loop. Starts over, okay? So this theme is what we're going to use to build our harmonization. The rule here is simple. In order to build chords that are going to work over this theme, we need to use the same characters of the theme. Now, that doesn't mean that whenever we hear the first note, which is something like this, we need to have a chord with that note. That's not what it means. It just means that we need to match musical elements. The chords we're going to build need to be part of that family. So I'm going to give you right away the 7 characters of that family. The 7 characters that we have of the family, the theme was built using an A major scale. And if I play the theme and I play my A major scale in the background, nothing really is going to clash completely. Let's take a listen here. All right, I'm just playing my major scale. It works. Now, what wouldn't work is if I played a different family. That doesn't match. Now, this really match, right? And your ear tells you that. Okay, that's what I mean by matching the elements. All right, so which chords are we going to use here over this chord progression? There are a lot of different options, and really there are no right or wrong options as far as chords go, as long as you match the different elements together. Now, some chords might sound more appealing to you, and that has to do with what you've been listening to since you're a kid or the musical genre you're into, but in theory, the elements are going to match. Basically, all these notes that create the theme are going to become different intervals. Different emotions are going to come depending on what you're playing in the background. And the chords you're going to play in the back need to come from that major scale. Okay? So there are a lot of different chords. All right, that will. I'm going to teach you how to do that. It's very simple. There are 2 different approaches. There is the mathematical approach, which is more of a cerebral approach, where we're analyzing the actual commonly used harmonization of a scale by using 3 notes or 4-note chords. And then there is the more adventurous approach. We're going to start with the mathematical approach. In essence, what we're going to do here is take our 7-note major scale, in A in this case, 7 notes, and we're going to build chords from each of these 7 notes. And there's a lot of different ways to do that, but because we're taking the mathematical route, the standard scholar way, we're going to decide to build 4-note chords in a very conventional way, which is basically taking the note that we're starting from, so any of these 7 notes really. We'll start with the first one. Skip the next note of the scale to the 3rd. That'll give us a particular type of 3rd. In this case, it's a major 3rd. If you don't know about that, don't worry about it yet. Skip the next note to the 5th and skip the next note to the 7th. So these 4 notes create a 4-note chord if I play them together. And these notes played together are a 4-note chord that is built from the first note of our scale. Okay, so that chord. I'm arpeggiating it here. For fingering purposes, I'm not going to play in the same exact order, but it'll give you this kind of sound. Right? That's the first 4-note chord that we can extract from our major scale. Then we can do the same thing from the second note. We'll have what we call a minor 7 chord with the first note, which is the second note of the scale. Skip the next to the 3rd. This time we'll have a minor 3rd. Skip the next to the 5th, and the next to the 7th, and we'll have a minor 7th chord. And I can do that with each of the 7 notes, and I'll have this kind of harmonization. That kind of thing. Now there's a lot of different fingerings. What matters here is that you understand how I built those chords. Fingerings, you can get those. How? Well, by visiting the link below and downloading all the stuff. You can do it right now. I'll pause the video. I'll tell you more about it later, but actually don't do it now. Watch the rest of the video because I don't want you to miss out. Okay, so that was for the mathematical approach to building chords. These 7 chords could be used at will over this theme, and I'm going to play a little bit. Our ear is going to guide us, but in essence, I'm going to play one of these 7 different notes over my theme here and explore a little bit. And so forth. All right, so that was the mathematical way. The chords that we come up with have been heard many, many times. It's kind of a jazzy approach. Of course, you can break the rules, change a little bit the fingering, change the notes, change the different embellishments that you can add. But in a nutshell, that's the way to do it for the mathematical way. There is a different way, which I really love because it favors exploration of the fretboard and it solidifies some concepts that you can find on your guitar. And that's to think about this as the full scale, the 7-note scale that we discussed here, the A major scale, and visualize that all over the fretboard. So instead of having just one position, whether you use the cage position or the 3-note per string position or whatever it is, you see the full fretboard. Alan Holdsworth was what? Can't pronounce it. You caught me, but you know who I mean, you know, the master. That's what he did. He visualized the whole fretboard and basically came up with these awesome sounding, very difficult to play chords, but that's kind of how he viewed the fretboard all at once. And that's what I want you to explore here too. So the only rule is to play one of these 7 notes and play chords. So you don't need to name these chords, it doesn't matter. So if you visualize your fretboard, let's say that we have something like this. You're kind of focusing in that area of the fretboard, maybe something like this. These notes there that I'm choosing are part of my scale, right? Therefore, this chord, whatever it is a chord extracted from my scale. So that chord, made of different characters, will match the characters of my theme. Now, do you like this sound? If the answer is yes, use it. If you don't, maybe use it later in the song. Maybe here. I like that. And that's how you can really explore different things. Now, what I would recommend to work on this is to learn this theme mentally. Dun, 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 dun. All together, come on. Da, da, bye, bye. You know what I mean, right? You have this memorized, and then you just work on it. I like that. No, 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 no. I want to change here. No, no. I don't know what I'm going to play. That's part of my skill. So that's what I want, really. Yeah, that's what I want. So I want. Dun, dun, no, no, no. I like that. Dun, dun, no, no, no. Let's try that. Really nice, and you keep going, working on it like that and exploring the fretboard. Now you need and either visualize the whole fretboard of A major or have in front of you a sheet with all the notes, but that's kind of the idea here. And the possibilities are really endless. There's a lot of different things you can do over this one theme, all because one note can have a lot of different meanings. A lot. More than 12. There are 12 notes, but each of these notes can be part of another subgroup of notes, chords, and really possibilities are endless. So you might have something like this. Might start like this, or maybe it'll start like this. Different, right? But both options work. All right, so that's what I have for you today. And I also have something extra for you today. In the description of this video, there is a link that I want you to follow. You're gonna enter your best email address so that I can send you a zip file. In that zip file, you're gonna find the theme that we've been working on today that is looped several times. You're also gonna find a chart with the A major scale all over the fretboard. What I want you to do with that is, first of all, work on this concept, discover new things, discover new chords, and work on that harmonization. There's no wrong answer as long as you follow, the rules here. And if you find something cool that you really like, record yourself playing your guitar over this chord progression. Once you have that, upload that to YouTube and send me the link. In the zip file, you're gonna have a submission form that I want you to fill. I'll be picking my favorite entries, some that I find interesting, and we'll discuss them here on the channel. I would love for you to do that. It's a great way to just discover new ideas, new concepts. This is not a competition. This is just about improving our musicality, incorporating different concepts into our playing to become more expressive players. That's what it's about. The link is below. And if this was your first visit to this channel, I would love for you to consider subscribing, because every single week, 3 videos at least like this one come out, helping guitar players like you find your unique voice on the instrument, develop it to tell your own personal musical story. Thank you so much for watching this video. Have fun with this, practice well. I'll see you next time.